Hey, I'm Jessica, and welcome to your reality check. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode where I check off your list with Love Island episodes 14 and 15. Guys, I am so livid. What the heck did we just watch? I am absolutely baffled over this dumping. I don't understand. I'm so confused. I don't get how producers could have let this happen. How is Jeremiah gone? How is Hannah gone? How is Austin still there? How is Pepe still there? How is Huda still there? Like, I am so confused. I'm flabbergasted. I have so many thoughts. I am so mad. I am absolutely, what is the opposite of Team Ace? Because I am definitely not on the Ace train. He is in my bad books. What in the world was this episode? This was insane. And of course, I'm talking about episode 15. Typically, I go in chronological order, but listen, we gotta start with this disaster of an episode, because how can I not? How can I talk about Chelley and Ace and Olandria and Taylor and what happened with Nick and Cierra? How can I start talking about that when I literally have all of this stuff going on in my mind right now that I just need to let out? Because I just don't understand. I actually can't, like, I have no words. I can't fathom that the boys voted off Jeremiah. I'm in shock. I also can't fathom that the girls voted off Hannah. Like, those are two people I just never, ever saw coming. And it just goes to show that Ace is literally running the house. It's the Ace show. Ace and his little minions are doing all these things. Listen, I don't know why the girls voted out Hannah. I still don't understand. I'm trying to think of all the different reasons as to maybe why the girls voted out Hannah, but I literally cannot come to any sort of conclusion. However, I know exactly why the boys voted out Jeremiah, because Ace has had an issue with Jeremiah since day one. Ace has seen Jeremiah as competition. Listen, if you remember in episode 1, Ace wanted Huda when they had to go and kiss two girls. One of those girls was Huda. And who did Ace end up being coupled up with? Yulisa. Yeah, remember her? Because I completely forgot about her. But then I was like, wait a second. Ace was paired up with Yulisa, but he wanted Huda originally. Jeremiah got Huda. And so since day one, Ace has been out to get Jeremiah because that is who he wanted. He wanted Huda. I mean, listen, the guy dodged a bullet. So he should be on his hands and knees thanking Jeremiah. Like, thank you so much. Like, I'm sorry that you had to deal with her and craziness, but thank you so much. But instead, he has had this vendetta against Jeremiah that he is playing. Literally, Ace is playing a game of Survivor. He's not playing Love Island. He's literally, first of all, you shouldn't be playing Love Island. You should just be on Love Island in the experience. There shouldn't be any playing involved. And unfortunately, I am seeing so many game players on this season. They're thinking about every single little move. Oh, we need to get rid of this person so then that person can be coupled up with this person, and like this person can't make it to the end because America's gonna vote for them. Like, it's all gameplay, and that is, to me, it's losing the essence of what the show is. The beauty of the show is that it's just single good-looking people coming onto the show, having a good time for the summer, and we're enjoying it. But it's come down to it being strategic and manipulation. And, I feel like in the past we're like, oh, it's Friendship Island. These people are just looking out for their friends. And you know what? I actually somewhat prefer that to a certain degree, because seeing how they just cut off Jeremiah, who technically he's been there since day one. He's an OG. Have we ever really seen this happen where the guys just turn on an OG for literally no good reason? And I'll get to all the bull reasons that Ace and his little minions say, the reason why they got rid of Jeremiah, and it's just not adding up. It absolutely makes zero sense. Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts. I feel like all my thoughts are just super scattered. But listen, going back to Ace on day one, he was coupled up with Elisa. She left after half a second, right? He then was single. He then decided to couple up with Amaya. Decided that same evening that he wanted nothing to do with her and he was open to exploring other connections, i.e. Chelley. He then went into a couple with Iris and had 2 conversations with her and decided that, nope, I actually want to be with Chelley still. You know, quote unquote, I think this whole time he wanted to be with Chelley. And now, obviously, Ace is coupled up with Chelley. And I think in his mind, he has played the strategic game of, look, from the outside, visibly, I'm going to show people that I am here for the Love Island experience. I'm going to go from couple to couple to couple to really have this amazing story in the end of, look, I tried to experiment, to explore all of these other connections, and it led me to Chelley. And that's why we should win. Like, I think he is just looking at it from a very strategic point of view, and him coupling up randomly with these girls, it knowing the fact that he should have been with Chelley since day one, it makes all of the sense. He is a messy person in the house, and I need these people in the villa to clock exactly what he's doing. And I don't think anyone realizes that he doesn't have their best intentions. He is just, you know, playing the game. He's playing a game. And I don't think anyone realizes it because they're so wrapped in the Ace spell, if you will. It's beyond frustrating as a viewer because, again, we want to be watching true intentions. If I was watching Traitors and this was going down, sure, I'd be here for it. We would all be here for it. But this is Love Island. You are not supposed to be playing a game. You are supposed to find love. You are supposed to find your partner. Look at Marco, for example. Marco and Hannah from a few seasons ago, they just got engaged. He just put out a reel so angry at the fact of how Ace, Taylor, and Nick voted Jeremiah out. And he said it so perfectly. He was like, I have never seen men more insecure ever. And it's so true. I think Ace felt threatened by Jeremiah since day one. Jeremiah is a very good looking guy. Any girl, any beautiful girl that walks in, look, as much as we, you know, don't love Huda, she's a pretty girl, right? He got Huda. He got what he wanted. Huda got what she wanted. And Zena comes in. Beautiful bombshell. The definition of a bombshell. Ace turns his head. Well, what do you know? Jeremiah is into Andina, and Dina is super into Jeremiah. And so we all thought that they were going to couple up at the end of this, and we were rooting for them. Jeremiah deserved it. He deserved a second chance. And here's my beef with Ace and his minions, because they proceed to say the reason why they got rid of Jeremiah is because he came into the villa on day one. He locked in with Huda. They were locked in for 10 days, and he only locks in with a girl. He doesn't explore. He doesn't, to pull people for chats. He has just been so locked in on one person. Now, Andina then comes, and now he's, they're saying that he's locked in on her. It was so creepy when him and Andina were like, you know what? Let's just kiss in front of everyone because we literally do not care what anyone thinks. This was right before the recoupling. So they had no idea that there was going to be a recoupling. And these three men are just staring at them and totally judging them. And you hear Ace, this guy, all he does is he just locks in on one girl. He doesn't try to pull anyone for chats. It's the same cycle. He is just locking in on a girl and he then hones in on them, and it's the same cycle every single time. Ace, can I just remind you that Taylor and Olandria have been together since day one, and I haven't seen Taylor pull not a single girl for a chat other than Olandria. Do you need to be reminded of that? Because, listen, why aren't you saying the thing about your boy Taylor? Because you don't have any issue with Taylor and Olandria being coupled up with each other and not exploring any other connection. So you proceeding to say that Jeremiah has this pattern of honing in on one girl and not exploring anyone else, it's bull. And we don't buy it. We can't buy it because it's literally false. Because your buddy, your best buddy in the villa, your right-hand man, has not pulled a single girl for a chat. So this is why Ace is manipulating everyone in the house. He's manipulating every single situation to try and pull forward, and essentially he win the money in the end. But it's not going to happen because we all see right through it. It's just so frustrating. I feel so bad for Jeremiah because, listen, Jeremiah and Huda, it is what it is, what happened between them. I think both of them had their own faults in the relationship throughout the 10 days. But Jeremiah deserved a second chance. He deserved a second chance. He removed himself from the situation, risking being dumped and single and vulnerable and all those things. He then finds a bombshell that comes in to be beautiful. They hit it off, and now you're going to turn around and say you're just locking in with these people and not exploring anything. First of all, you didn't even give him the chance because you saw him exploring a connection with Andrina. And listen, Ace was so into Andrina when she walked in. And here's the thing, Ace was jealous. He was so jealous. The fact that Jeremiah and Andrina got together because that's what Ace wanted. Ace wanted to do that. And so again, it's like, you know what? Let's get these two out. And you can also maybe argue that maybe they also got him out because Nick and Andrina had a connection. And so it's like, okay, Nick, if you want to explore with Andrina, here you go. Here is her on a silver platter because we are going to get rid of Jeremiah. Everything is just so messy. I do not respect anything that Ace has done in this episode at all. I am absolutely just not Team Ace. I can't wrap my head around it, but I just hope that these Islanders see the patterns, see the way that Ace is manipulating situations, and seeing that he is in it to win it. He's in it for the money. Can you imagine if this guy makes it to the end? He's not, but can you imagine he makes it to the end and it's between him and Chelley, let's just say, if they have to decide to stay together or take all the money, this guy's going to take all the money. Come on. He's in it to win it. And honestly, when he is on my screen, I'm over him. Like now going forward, how can I be on board with this man? I just can't. And all the more reason for when Chelley goes to Casa Amor, I hope, I've been saying up until this point, Ace is 1000% not on Chelley's level, and I need a Casa Amor boy to come in and be on her level. That is what I'm hoping for because she deserves it. Ace is 1000% not on her level. I think they're 5 years apart, and I'm sorry, but if a guy if he's 22 and Chelley is 27, that is a big gap in the sense of where you are at in life and maturity levels. I'm sorry. Guys mature way later than girls. And so it's just Chelley needs to find someone that is on her level because Ace just ain't it. So the fact that in the bottom for the guys, it was Austin, Pepe, and Jeremiah. Hands down, I was like, it's going to be Austin or it's going to be Pepe because I looked at Austin too and he's an OG. He's been there from day one, but Pepe hasn't. But also too, I thought it was going to be Austin for sure because he doesn't have a connection. At least Pepe and Hannah had each other. But then when the girls went first and got rid of Hannah, then I was like, oh, maybe the guys are just going to get rid of Pepe so that they can leave the villa together and they can be together outside of the villa, whatever the case may be. It made no sense to me that Austin is here, has zero connection with anyone, and like has he even tried? Like, he's just, been in a couple with Chelley, but like not really, because he didn't even try. Ace was overpowering that the whole time, even if they weren't coupled up. And then he's been with Amaya. Is he even trying with Amaya? Like, he's there, but he's not. I don't know what the guy has done. And he just really, really rubs me the wrong way. He gives me the ick in all of these challenges. When he's kissing these girls, it's just way too much. He gives me the ick. And not that, like, I'm like, he needs to go, because I'm kind of just like, whatever about him. But literally, that would have been the perfect opportunity, because he had zero connection. You saw Jeremiah had a connection with the bombshell, and you decided to vote him out because you guys are jealous. You're jealous. All right, let's talk about Hannah, because I am shook. So, out of the girls, the bottom three was Hannah, Iris, and Amaya. And so I'm looking at these three girls. And again, I'm like, it's got to be Amaya. And I have to say this, Amaya has definitely grown on me over the course of the season. I think she is really funny. I think she has some really good one-liners. And I actually genuinely just like her on the show. But she doesn't have a connection. Like, and here's the thing too with her, is I know she wants to couple up with someone. Like, I know Amaya Papaya, it's the cutest name, Amaya Papaya, is there for the right reasons. Like, she totally is there to make a connection, 100%. She wears her heart on her sleeve. So it's like she deserves to be there, but because she didn't have a connection really, I was like, okay, she's gonna leave. I thought because Iris just came to the villa a few days ago, I thought they would give her the opportunity to spark a connection, because it seems like her and TJ have something going on, something started. So yeah, in my mind, I was like, it's going to be Amaya gone. I never in a million years, the guys even said it, they thought Hannah was the last person to leave, and I 100% agree. Listen, Hannah is one of few people that actually try to explore different connections. She tried to explore something with Charlie. He then got voted off. She now, literally the next day pivots and is exploring things with Pepe. That is what you should be doing. So I just don't understand. And the girls are like, oh, you're this bright light in the villa. You're this ray of sunshine. We're really going to miss having you. And it's like, if you feel so inclined to tell Hannah all of these really nice things about her, she's been with you guys for so long, then literally get to the root of why you actually got rid of her, because it's very unclear. It feels like there was an ulterior motive with getting rid of Hannah that I can't figure out what that is. Like, if they got rid of Hannah, then that means Pepe would have been single and he could couple up with someone. Who wanted Pepe? Maybe the bombshell, but they wouldn't care. Like, the girls wouldn't care about that. They wouldn't be like, oh, let's get rid of Hannah so that Pepe can explore something with Angelina. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I literally don't understand why they decided to vote her out. I'm sure she has 1,000 questions. I just think it was so unfair. So unfair. And I loved when she called the girls out when she was getting ready to leave, and she was like, I really don't know what to say to you guys from, sitting in a room with people that just voted me out of the villa. What am I supposed to say to you? I love that she said that. I love that she called them out, and I genuinely feel really bad for her, because I do think she deserved to be there. Yeah, we could have said what we said when she jumped from Charlie to Pepe, but at the same time, she's exploring. What is she going to do when Charlie leaves? She's going to run after him? No, this is a great opportunity. Why would you leave the island? And what is she supposed to do, too, if she stays on the island? Sit and sulk? Oh my gosh, Charlie left? No, she was sulking and crying the night he left. Cool. She moved on the next day and explored things with Pepe. And you have to respect that. So I don't understand these girls really. The fact too that it was our faves, Olandria, besides Huda, Olandria, Chelley, Cierra made this decision. If it was the bottom girls making this decision, okay, it could make sense. But the fact that it was the OG girls, all 4 of them OG girls making that decision, beyond me. Absolutely just beyond me. What I think they need to do going forward is the same gender needs to not vote for the same gender. Like, it needs to be, okay, the bottom 3 girls are, at risk of elimination. Then the guys need to vote off the girl, and the bottom guys, the girls need to vote out the bottom guys. Like, the problem is they're playing Friendship Island in a negative way. Like, I think there's a way to, like I said earlier, play Friendship Island in a positive way where you're supporting your friends, you're being there for your friends, you're holding your friends accountable. That's playing Friendship Island the right way. But when you're playing Friendship Island and getting rid of people because you're jealous of them or because you want your friend to couple up with the person that maybe they're into and you don't want to give the person that you don't like opportunities. Like, I just think when you're just so closed off from a friendship standpoint, like the bros are sticking together and it's like ride or die until the end. And so that's why it's like, if the girls were able to vote out the guys, the result 100% would have been totally different. Are you kidding me? If the girls got to vote out the guys, Austin would have been packing his bags. Come on now. Same with the guys. There was no way that the guys were going to vote out Hannah. I actually think maybe they would have voted out Iris. So I think the results would have been totally different. And I want to see going forward that the same genders essentially cannot vote each other out, because then you just have like an unfair advantage. If you haven't made like really concrete, great friendships, and look, if you're coming in late, well, then you're out of luck, because obviously the OGs are going to stick together. So I think that's something that they need to change going forward. I know there's times and in past seasons where that does happen, where opposite genders vote each other out. But to me, it should just be a consistent thing all the time, because I just think same genders voting each other out is just not fair, because they're just playing this whole friendship game, which, how can certain people stand a chance? They can't. And it's just not fair. Jeremiah deserved to be there. He did nothing wrong. He deserved to be there. I get it. Everyone's like, he loved bombed Huda. She love bombed him too. And the minute that he realized he was in a toxic situation, he removed himself. At this point, that's all you can do. So why are you going to vote the guy out? Because you're literally just jealous. It's not fair. I hope he comes back for Casa Amor. That is the hope. Let's hope that happens, because to me, it's just so unfair that he was stripped of his experience. I think he was gone too soon. I really do. All right, that's enough of the ending. Can you tell I'm a little bit heated? It sucks. It sucks because I think some really good people left. And I mean, I know Casa Amor is the next episode, so things are going to be shaken up. We're going to get a lot of new people, different relationships. We've heard Ariana say that this Casa Amor is going to be completely different than ever before. So let's see what happens. But listen, there better be a spot saved for Jeremiah, because that man deserves to be there. One thing that I also want to mention about this episode is the conversation between Cierra and Nick. So in the previous episode, in episode 14, Cierra and Nick, do the deed. They for the first time. And here's the thing. I think that Cierra and Nick came onto the show to just have a good time. I don't know if I necessarily think Nick came onto Love Island to be like, I want to meet someone that I, can be with outside of the villa. And I don't know, just by the way that Cierra, like just the way that she acts and just the things that I've heard her say on the show, I also kind of get the same vibe from her where she's like, I'm here for a good time. But I think when, they do the deed, I just think that changed everything. And when that happens, emotions are involved, emotions are heightened. And I think that's what changed the game for Cierra, not Nick, because Nick pulled away. Nick pulled away, and they literally, the night happened. The next day, he has a conversation with Angelina and is basically like, oh, I want to explore things with Angelina. After that happens, and then Cierra is like, WTF? They have that challenge, or whatever you want to call it, the kissing thing. Literally, it was 30 minutes of kissing. I'm sick of all these challenges that I just need to watch these people making out for 30 minutes and putting milk in their mouth and spitting it into each other. It's disgusting. I literally wanted to yuck. It was disgusting. It was so nasty. And he's making out with Angelina, grabbing her ass the whole, anytime that he had the chance to make out with her, and even on her end, she was very into him. They both were reciprocating on both ends. They got to kiss each other many times during that challenge. And that really, it hurt Cierra. And I can't blame her for feeling that way, because it's like that happens the night before. Then she's seeing him acting the way that he's acting with Angelina in the challenge. Everyone is seeing it. And I don't like how he treated her in this episode. I really don't. And I think too, so many people gave their vote to Nick, and because the vote happened, obviously, before this episode. And I think now, after seeing this episode, people's opinions of Nick has changed. The way that he treated Cierra, the stuff that he was saying to her, and just his actions, like how he was rolling around literally on the floor with Angelina in the challenge. He tells Cierra he's attracted to Angelina and tells her that she has the freedom to explore other options because that's essentially what he wants to do. And Sierra's like, I don't want to explore other options. Like, I think he said the key word was freedom. And she was like, F freedom. I don't want freedom. I want to be with you. This whole conversation ends of like, I'm not closed off. And I feel bad for Cierra because in this moment, she feels like her feelings are stronger towards him than his towards her. And I mean, it's obvious, right? If he is flat out saying, I want to explore, I want to be open, and that's why I keep saying, like, I think Nick just came on Love Island for a good time. Meet good-looking people, hook up with people, make out with people, and that's why I'm starting to be like, I don't know if he genuinely wants to leave the island in a relationship. Like, I actually don't know if he cares. The guy's 25 years old. Does he really care? You know what I mean? So I think Cierra is such a queen. I honestly think she's my favorite. She's my favorite girl. I think she's 25 too, but the maturity level of this girl is, I definitely wasn't, not that I wasn't mature at 25, but just like the emotional maturity of her, I definitely wasn't like on that level. I think just even the way that she speaks and presents herself, holds conversations, like I genuinely love her. I've loved her since day one, but every episode I love her more and more and more. So I want her to find something good in Casa Amor, because if Nick isn't going to give her that, she deserves so much better. And I genuinely do think that, I think she came here for a good time, but I do genuinely think that she wants to find a connection. She wants to find love, and she's very deserving of it because she's really great. And I think the way that she has acted the whole season so far, she's been so chill with Nick. She hasn't constrained him whatsoever. She's been chill with like his wholeness, if you will, right? She allows him to do whatever he wants. And he, I think, is taking advantage of that because Sierra's kept her mouth shut. She doesn't want to be like Huda, right? Overbearing, overpowering. She basically, I think, is kind of playing it like, I'm going to take a step back, or has been playing it of like, I'm going to take a step back because then you'll, get a taste of not me essentially. And then you'll come kind of crawling back to me because you'll see what's out there and realize, oh no, I want Cierra. I think that's kind of the way that she's going about it. But now that, they were physical, that changes everything. And so you can't fault her for feeling this way, but now he's going to Casa Amor. So again, it's like, I get you can't, it's hard to maybe hold your emotions and from, stopping that happening. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like people up until Casa Amor, like, yes, you need to kind of find a connection. But to me, it's like you find the connection, you explore a few times, but you find a good connection. You go to Casa Amor, you explore a little bit more, but then you come back and then you make a decision. A, do I want to be with option number one because I miss them so much and they don't compare to anyone here? Or B, oh my gosh, dodged a bullet from the person in the villa. I am so into this person, Casa Amor, and you come back. Like, it's two paths. Or I guess you're not into anyone and you come back single and then you leave. I just think for Nick, he really needs to watch his step because he is going to lose Cierra. If he does, first of all, can you also imagine, you remember last year when they got the little video call from Casa Amor, what the guys were doing, and literally all hell broke loose with Kaylor and Aaron? He has to watch his back. If she's sad about him in Casa Amor and is really missing him in Casa Amor, but then he's going off and exploring all these connections and making out and all this stuff, you don't think that Cierra's going to get a video call, a video recording of this happening? Of course it is. Because we know that this happens to the strongest connections. And at the end of the day, if you look at our roster of couples, you technically have to say that they are the strongest couple, even though they definitely aren't. In the grand scheme of Love Island, they are up until this point. So I think, let's see what happens in Casa Amor. But I really think Nick has to watch out. Like, he has to watch out. He has to remember he's being filmed at all times and she might be able to see what he's doing over there. And I don't know if I trust him. Because I think he's just here for a good time. He's here for a good time and a long time. So we'll see. I hope it's just not at the expense of Cierra because she honestly is a really good person and she deserves a good guy. I guess I'll backtrack now to episode 14. But to be honest, there wasn't really that much going on in this episode because the new bombshells came in, TJ and Indina. And so this episode was really just about having conversations with the bombshells and the challenge that I thought was absolutely disgusting. I mean, I saw it online. They were like, what would you rather have watched? You know how sometimes they do the ketchup and mustard and they put that in people's mouths or the milk? And I'm like, none. I don't want any of it. Like, any liquids coming out at an excessive amount, going from one mouth to the other, no thank you. Petition for that to just be off Love Island entirely. But, I pretty much touched on everything earlier. Look, Jeremiah and Andina hit it off in the beginning. I'm like, does it even matter anymore because the guy's gone? But it sucks. It was nice to see him sparking a new connection. It was nice to see him happy again. Did we even see him happy at all? I feel like it would look like he had, like, it was a breath of fresh air, honestly. When Andina walked in, he even says, like, it feels healthy. He feels good. He feels like a weight has lifted. And again, it sucks. Like, it sucks that we can't even talk about it anymore because we know he's gone. We can only hope, like I said, that he comes back to Casa Amor. And listen, what I thought was very interesting in this episode is obviously Huda is like, okay, I need to find a connection because I'm risk of being eliminated. And so we see her jumping over to Pepe, and she kind of did Hannah dirty a little bit. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it kind of is adding up. So Huda pulls Pepe for a chat without consulting, without even giving Hannah the heads up. She just pulls him for a chat. And the thing with Huda is she's just so, like, she's all about just like the being physical. I've never seen her have a deep conversation. Do we know anything about her besides the fact that she's a mom? I genuinely do not know anything about her because she doesn't have deep chats. All she talks about is physical. She tells guys, oh, it's weird that you're not into me because I'm just so used to guys being obsessed with me. It's all about just her and me, and I. I think the fact that she didn't say anything to Hannah was extremely disrespectful. She deserved to tell Hannah up front, like, hey, look, me and Jeremiah are done. I have always found Pepe attractive, but because I was with Jeremiah, I just consciously decided not to pull him for a chat. Would you mind if I pull Pepe for a chat? Nothing's gonna happen. I'm just pulling him for a chat. We'll have a conversation. But do you mind? Like, is that okay? As one of your, these people love to say best friends, but as your best friend in the villa, one of your best friends, like, do you mind if I do that? She definitely owed that to her. I also thought the way that she pulled him for a chat was so disrespectful. Hannah was literally standing right beside Pepe, and Huda goes up to Pepe and whispers it, like, barely you can hear it, and she's like, can I pull you for a chat? And she said it like 3 times. The guy literally couldn't hear because she didn't want Hannah to hear. It was just, it was very disrespectful, and I think she definitely did Hannah dirty. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, did they maybe get rid of Hannah? First of all, I think that's one thing that did go through my mind is, did they get rid of Hannah so that Huda and Pepe can explore? But were they maybe not that close with Hannah? Like, if Huda didn't even ask Hannah or tell Hannah that she was thinking about pulling Pepe for a chat, like making sure she was okay with it, then maybe that kind of goes to show that she didn't really have a strong friendship with Hannah. So they're kind of just like, oh, we don't really feel like we have a friendship. We're gonna get rid of her. Like, I don't know. Again, this is where the whole friendship island, good or bad, like, there's always pros and cons to it. But I think she definitely owed that to Hannah. And I think she, like, Huda, if she wants to last long on the show, she needs to move with genuine and intentional intentions. Does that make sense? Because the way that she is just moving in the villa, it just feels so conniving. It's different from Ace because Huda is definitely, I don't see Huda trying to play any sort of game. I just think she's literally acting a hot mess. But she just, I just feel bad for Hannah because Hannah was there from day one. She was there for all of Huda's problems with Jeremiah. Hannah was the first person to go into the room with Huda after her and Jeremiah had this blowout, and she calmed her down. So I don't know. I feel really bad for Hannah. She didn't deserve it at all. It's Casa Amor now too. Like, whether or not Pepe was even into Huda, we know he wasn't, but Pepe is going to find someone in Casa Amor. And I don't, like, is Huda gonna find anyone in Casa Amor? These guys are watching. Do we actually think they're watching and someone is going to be like, wow, that Huda, she seems like a great person to be coupled up with? Like, is anyone thinking that? Like, if they are, I'm going to be a little bit concerned because you have to be coupled up with this person. You have to be spending 24 hours with this person. And you're the person, like, you're making that conscious effort to who you want to be coupled up with. So if you're watching bits and pieces of Love Island and you're seeing the way that she's been acting, seeing the way, and here's the thing, it's not even the way that she's been treating Jeremiah, the way that she talks to the girls, the way that she's handled certain situations, like, she's handled everything just so poorly. And there's on so many fronts. It's not just her relationship with Jeremiah. It's on every single different aspect of her interactions. Just like her her potty mouth, like, just she says things that I just find so disrespectful and uncalled for. So I can imagine anyone going into Casa Amor being like, please couple me up with Huda because I have just been dying to get to know her. Maybe there is, like, I don't know. But I can't imagine there would be. I can't imagine it. Okay, TJ and Iris, I'm going to be honest, I'm into them. I think it's tough because they're both bombshells coming midway through the season, so it's hard to feel invested with them. The one thing that I want to say about them is the fact that he asked her when she told him that she lives in Calabasas and he was like, "Oh, so you got money." Yo, that is the biggest red flag. Iris, please, like, get away from this guy because this is just such a red flag. Why would you even say that? You don't know if she has money. And even if she does, her family does, whatever it may be, like, that's none of your business. And none of your business to put it out there on this show. And I mean, I think her response was good. She was like, "Oh, that's what people think." But no, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Listen, when she said Calabasas, did I think that too? Yes. But I kept it to myself. I didn't say it out loud. Not that anyone else is listening. I guess people are now. But did I think it? Yes. Would I ever say that to someone? Like, if someone said to me, like, a very rich area in Toronto is Forest Hill. That's where, like, Drake's house is. If someone said to me, "Oh, I'm from Forest Hill," I'm not going to look at them and be like, "Oh, you got money. You're rich. You're raking it in." I'm not going to say that. Okay, maybe I'm going to think it, but I'm not going to say it. So I just thought he didn't need to do that. But I mean, I guess it didn't bother her that much because they're feeling pretty cozy. They've been making out here and there, in and out of the challenge. It was her first kiss outside of the challenge, which, I mean, I'm happy. Like I said, I actually really like Iris, but I think she'll have fun at Casa Amor. She's not tied to TJ by any means whatsoever. I think she's a catch, and I think definitely guys are going to be into her there for sure. The last thing that I want to touch on is Austin and Amaya, and I kind of touched on this earlier when I was talking about the Hot Mess Express of the dumping, but you know, I really feel for our Amaya Papaya because I think she's genuinely there for all the right reasons, and I think she wears her heart on her sleeve. I think not that she falls hard and fast, but I think she really does, like, put all eggs in one basket, and she really gives her all into the relationship, like whatever she's exploring. And I think for guys, it can come off across as too much and overpowering and overbearing. And I mean, not that it happened with Ace, because Ace, from the second that they coupled up, he was like, "I really don't want anything to do with you." But I think we can see that kind of playing out with Austin, where, you know, again, the whole babe and the baby thing is kind of bothering him. And I do get it from the perspective of, if someone is walking around the villa just, you know, calling you babe and baby, well, the perception is that, oh, you're coupled up and you're super happy because you have pet names for me, you know? So I think she puts her on. I think there is definitely a guy out there for her that likes that, but obviously it's not Austin. Obviously it wasn't Ace at all, but I really hope that she finds someone in Casa Amor. But Austin says it to one of the guys. I think it was Ace. I don't know why everyone tells Ace their issues, but he's like, "Yeah, Amaya's just, I'm feeling like she's too much." And he even said, he's like, "I've never felt uncomfortable with a girl before, but I feel uncomfortable." And I'm like, okay, I think that's a little, I mean, I don't know. I can't say if he feels uncomfortable or not, but I mean, I would feel uncomfortable with him. Like in those challenges, like kissing, like, oh my God, boy, bye. But I get it from his perspective, where he's like, "I just feel like we're so locked in and it's only been 2 days." Like, I get it and I see it. But I think the problem is, like, that's Amaya. That's her. That's what she wants. Like, she wants to be all in. And I don't think, maybe the show isn't for her, because this show technically is, yes, you know, need to form a connection and make it to the end. I mean, you don't need to make it to the end, but in order to make it to the end, you need to form a strong connection and relationship. I don't think she's given herself the ability to explore their connections. But then I also just think that guys in the villa don't necessarily want to explore anything with her. So I just don't, you know what? I just don't think she was given a fair chance. I don't think any of the guys in the villa are for her right now. But like I said, we have Casa Amor looming over in the shadows. Next episode, it is happening. So I can only hope that there is a guy out there for our queen Amaya Papaya, because I am really loving her, and I just think she brings a really fun energy and vibe, and I think she deserves a good guy. So Oh man, that was a crazy, crazy last 2 episodes. The last episode in particular, absolutely just insane drama. Drama that I don't necessarily love watching because I don't like seeing people go that deserve to be in the villa. I don't like seeing bros go after guys that they are maybe jealous over. Like it's just giving insecure, and I'm not here for it. So I can only hope that we see Jeremiah and Casa more. I don't think Hannah's coming back. I just don't think it would make any sense. But I do definitely think it makes sense if Jeremiah comes back. So, like I said, Casa Amor is here, and I can't wait for it. And I cannot wait to see what all of these different twists and turns and how they're going to approach Casa, because Ariana says it's like we've never seen it before. So stay tuned for my next recap on Casa Amor, because that'll be back before you know it. That'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please rate, subscribe, review, do all of the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at yourrealitycheck.pod. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye.